Yep. Yep. Very weird.
Yeah,
Very weird.
Is this okay? So earlier we were kind of hashing out. We were really wanting to hash out about the whole situation with Trump coming down, saying that video game causes violence. It feels like we're like back in this weird cycle of bullshit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So what happened is that there were some shootings over the weekend. So that's very sad.
Right.
Very unfortunate. 2 different events, technically 3, but nobody cares about Chicago, right?
Jesus.
Well, it happens every fucking weekend.
I know.
It's just, that's what's crazy is nobody gives a shit about that. Every weekend, it's like 50 people shot in Chicago, and nobody says a word.
Because it has the highest gun crime in the United States.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad. So there are people saying that there was actually a 3rd shooting over the weekend, but that's just Chicago, really.
Because I saw some posting like where they were talking about Texas and Toledo, or like I thought it was Ohio and El Paso.
Yeah, it's Ohio and Dayton and El Paso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have no idea. Like, I mean, I see like all the raging that's going on. Like, obviously, it's a hot topic with the Second Amendment. People want to ban guns or more background checks, or it feels like a broken record. I mean, it's a broken record.
So the day it happened, this guy, a representative from Texas, comes out and talks about the violence in video games, and then the next day,
well, I know where this is going.
And then the next day, Trump talks about it, and he's like, we got to come together and we got to do what we got to do. He's like,
ban video games,
and part of that is limiting the gruesome nature of video games or some shit.
Okay, for the record,
that's what he said.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know this already, like, it's granted it's not perfect, but I mean, there's a rating system on the goddamn box. You can
my game was rated T for teen.
Yeah, there you go. You can visit the ESRB website and it tells you like real simple steps on like what each letter really stands for, like what kind of content and shit. You can even flip it on the back of the cover. It tells you exactly what's going to be in it.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Do you remember the Call of Duty? Was it Modern Warfare 2? Where one of the levels where you can literally walk into an airport and blast civilians.
Oh yeah, because you were like undercover with the terrorist group,
right?
Yeah, and so you had to play along.
Yeah.
So,
but it gave you a choice. If you wanted to play this, you can go ahead and continue, proceed. Just be aware it
did give you a choice.
Yeah,
that's true.
Or you can go ahead and skip it and not play that level because they knew like some people couldn't handle that kind of.
So this is something interesting I wanted to bring up actually, because it was a video that I saw a few days before the shootings, and it was this video by Extra Credits. Do you know what channel that is on YouTube?
No, I don't.
Oh, it's a pretty cool channel. I've watched it a lot because they deal with video game design and stuff, and a lot of things in the video game industry, basically. And so like they'll give a video about what is great level design and stuff like that. And so it's given me a lot of food for thought to think about when I'm making a video game. It's actually a pretty good channel, but lately they've gotten pretty political. And so they made something about stop putting Nazis in video games. And so they made a video about this. This is so bad and so fucking stupid. I literally want to punch somebody when I watch it.
Like punch a Nazi in the face.
Like punch a Nazi in the face. They're basically saying that if you play a game that has Nazis in it, you're desensitizing people to Nazis, and you yourself might become a Nazi. You might be on a website that has Nazi emblems and iron crosses, and you might think that's not so bad because I played in a video game. So what's wrong with it?
Shit like that makes me want to play Wolfenstein some more just to piss these people off.
Oh God! And they were saying a solution to this would be to how about we just not have classes at all? It would just be red versus blue. Why do you have to call somebody, terrorist versus counter-terrorist?
Why don't you stop or
Axis versus allies?
How about stop writing stupid articles and just learn how to develop a video game yourself? And then you can make a video game that's called Red versus Blue.
Dude, it's been ratioed so bad. The video has. I mean, everyone hates it, and they doubled down on it.
Are you serious?
They doubled down on it. They were like, "We're so glad we lost all the bigoted subscribers."
That's fine.
Like, they're not bigoted. You're trying to tell people that if they play a video game with Nazis, they're going to become a Nazi. People are not cool with that. Gamers are not cool with you hearing that. Like, that makes literally no sense.
All of a sudden, they had the moral high ground.
Yeah, and they were
so condescending.
It is so condescending. So, and they're like, "Thank God we got rid of all our bigots." It's
all
like, really, really, guys. And so I commented on it. I was like, unsubscribed, and I unsubscribed.
Like, I wish you guys the best, but this isn't for me.
Yeah. So apparently now they're getting super political, and they don't. It's just amazing to me that you can't even have Nazis in a World War II video game without somebody coming down and saying that's inappropriate.
Remember that was the big issue with Battlefield 5 when they removed the swastika out from the game. Like,
they removed it out from the game?
Yeah,
really?
like they removed it from since day one.
Why?
This is from a developer who's, I think is a CFO or CMO, whatever, where he was pushing for female feminism into the game, like
female characters in the game,
which is like, I mean, like, look, if you're gonna say World War II, I don't see that happening.
No, it's so ridiculous.
But if they would have if they would have repositioned it as like some steampunk kind of game,
right?
I would buy that,
because that's kind of what it looked like at first. You know, the
mechanical arm and whatnot.
Yeah, the first reveal trailer, this chick walks up to save this guy, and she's got like a robot arm, and she's like, "I'll save you," and they go back into the battle, and they're like, "That's totally common in World War II."
No,
like, first of all, nobody had a robot arm in World War II. Secondly, there's not a female running around with a robot arm in World War II fucking saving people. That's not a real thing. That's not a real thing.
It never was. I mean, just even the concept.
It's ridiculous.
But it was just, I mean, you can obviously tell that it was definitely shoehorned with like this whatever political ideology, and it sucks that it's crept into this hobby of ours, you know, that we've grown up with, and now we have to put up with this crap because somebody feels entitled to shoehorn their ideology down somebody's pocketbook.
Yeah,
buy this or you're a Nazi.
Yeah. No, seriously. That's
or you're
like
a racist or a sexist or...
It's basically, if you don't agree with me, you're a terrible human being. It's basically what it boils down to.
Yeah.
Which is fun, right?
Everybody
enjoys that, being told they're terrible people, right?
I don't understand, like, but, you know, regardless of what political ideology anybody watching this, you know, I was... When I saw that, I mean, I briefly saw that, you know, President Trump came out and
even
said that,
Trump came out and said
that. I was kind of like, dude.
And here's the thing, and because I don't know if you've noticed, but you really haven't heard this argument in a decade.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because it was proven false. That's the reason why.
It was proven false back in the 80s.
Well, yeah, but I mean, it really came out in like the 2000s. There were so many studies that said there is no link between somebody going out and causing violence and somebody playing violent video games. There is no link. This is factually proven time and time again. Even just like 6 months ago, there was a new study that came out and said that it's gone. It's proven. And this is why you haven't heard people talk about it, you know, but now it's being brought up again, even with no factual basis. They're still saying video games are, and by the way, video games used to be a lot more violent. I mean, remember we brought up Postal last time? I mean, come on.
You can't do that anymore.
Oh, dude. I mean, come on. I mean, and see, this is what I don't like about Trump's comment or other lawmakers' comments on this subject, is that I'm really worried that they're actually going to try to do something.
Why couldn't you just stick with aliens?
Something.
Aliens
are cool.
You know.
It's just you know. I think we can all agree there's something wrong with these shooters, but I think we can also all agree with the science that games is not it.
Okay, hold
games
on
are not the issue.
I'm going to backpedal that a little bit. There's absolutely nothing wrong with the games. It's just subjective. It's subjective art. Whether you find it grotesque, like that. Like
I said, the shooters.
Oh, the shooters. I think you were talking about the games themselves.
No, I just said I think we can all agree there's something wrong with the shooters.
Okay, I was thinking like FPS for some reason. It's like, what are you talking about?
Oh, you mean like the shooters as a game format?
I was like,
no, that's not what I mean. No.
But we just had this discussion, man. Yeah, like, whose side are you on?
No. There's definitely something wrong with the guys doing these
committing these
fucked up situations.
No, absolutely. It was
There's
like
definitely
20
wrong
people.
with them.
20 people killed in El Paso, I think, was the count.
22 now.
What the fuck?
2 died in the hospital so far. Yeah.
And all of a sudden, like, video games is the
yeah. Are we really going back to this? Are we going to go back to the Mayriln Manson causes violence and the Eminem is causing violence?
I'm gonna listen to him.
Really going back to this? Like, and first of all, a lot of Eminem songs are fucked up. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that I listened to those when I was like 12 is like mind blowing.
I don't know if Mayriln Manson songs are really all that fucked up.
They aren't too bad, but his
not as bad as nowhere near as bad as some of these rap songs I've heard. Like, kill this person, kill that person.
No, absolutely not.
Like,
absolutely not.
If you literally listen to the context of the lyrics, it's like they're really not that bad.
You know, Marilyn Manson was on Bill O'Reilly one time. I don't know if you ever saw that interview.
Nah.
It was pretty great. Marilyn Manson defended himself very well. They didn't really see each other eye to eye, but they sort of respected each other.
Right.
And so he was like, I'll come on this program and basically defend myself. So, Bill O'Reilly would say something like, what do you have to say all these people to say that your music causes these kids to be violent? And, Marilyn Manson defended himself very well. You should definitely go back and watch that if you haven't seen that. I'll make sure we link it down below. It's a good interview. He defends himself very well. It's very
Marilyn
nice.
Manson is like, because I think wasn't he a high school dropout?
I don't know.
And whatnot. I mean,
he was definitely a loser.
I don't think he was a loser.
He was like a loner type kid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think loser might be a little unfair.
I think he would call himself a loser.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Why?
Losers don't have a problem calling themselves losers. I was a loser. Ish. I wasn't one of like the lowest, but I was pretty low.
That seems a little unfair.
No, it's true.
I mean, I'd say you have your moments, but I wouldn't call you a loser.
We're talking in high school.
High school level loser, like on the social class.
Yeah.
Oh, great! Now I'm there too.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, I was pretty low, and I
don't think I was that bad.
And as far as school goes, like my grades were pretty terrible, and like I was just there. I slept through most of high school.
Well, who didn't?
Yeah, well, a lot of people. Most people didn't.
Yeah.
But I did. I don't know. I just didn't give a fuck.
You just didn't care. Interesting. I just pulled up the FBI stats, the same ones that I pulled up last time when we had this discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, gun crimes are still dropping.
Declining?
Yeah, they're still declining.
Yeah, see, crime was the worst between
since the
like the
80s.
1960s.
No, I'm only pulling back from the 80s.
Okay.
And whatnot, just because like I think that's like the time where like heroin and like all these drugs were coming.
Okay. Well, they really started to rise in like the 60s.
Okay.
And then it went up, and you're right. 80s was probably peak. Honestly, early 90s were peak. Early 90s were peak until about 94. Around 94 is when they started to come back down, and that was for a few reasons. There were laws that were passed that were very strict on. Basically, if you fucked up, you're going to prison for your entire life, or you're getting death penalty.
There was no intentions. I mean, like I remember Ronald Reagan signed like a fully automatic gun ban.
Yeah, it was like 1986 or something.
Yeah, during his presidency, that was his legacy and whatnot. Now, again, a different topic for a different debate for a different time.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't understand like where all of a sudden like we have like one mass shooting, and all of a sudden everybody has this weird instinct to kick into high gear that. All of a sudden, gun crime is on the rise. It's like, maybe for a couple of cities.
Yeah, but not really. No, it's pretty on the down low. Like if you compare this to 1994, when it was basically at its all-time high, it's nothing compared to it. Nothing compared to it.
Yeah, everybody was dying.
Like New York City was like a death trap. Miami was a fucking death trap. It was like how we think of Chicago now. That's how like every major city was.
Jesus,
like, it was bad. It was terrible, and so something had to be done. In Miami specifically, one of the big things they did is they legalized guns a lot more and let every citizen purchase a gun. That's what happened, and they put it in the what's it called? They put in the Castle Law, and they put in that law that
Castle Law was more synonymous with Texas.
They did it there too.
Oh, did they?
And they did what's the law where you don't have to retreat? What's that law called?
Stand your ground.
Stand your ground.
Yeah.
They put in that law, and then everybody bought a fucking gun, and then all of a sudden you saw crime just fucking drop. instantly, and it's been lowering ever since. And so if you want to say it's like on the rise, it's like compared to what though?
Yeah,
so we're talking about the 90s.
I would say
Jesus.
I would say the sensationalism is on the rise.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's just oh my god. And then what was it? Every single time there's always some kind of mass shooting or whatsoever. I think there's a legal definition for mass shooting where it's at least 6 people killed.
There's not
or
a legal
more.
Definition, unfortunately.
No, I think there is.
There's not, and that's the issue. And that's really the big issue is for a lot of these statistics is how people define it, because there is no set standard.
It's by the FBI. Hang on, I'm pulling it up.
And the FBI might have a standard, but that's not how everybody else defines it.
Well, this is what's defined by the FBI.
Okay.
Hang on, let me see. Multiple. Oh shit. No, not you, Wiki.
I'm sure the first line says there is no set definition. Because
No,
I've looked it up.
It was like there was an actual. They quantified it.
There's not.
I don't think so.
Now, a map I saw the other day where they said something. There's been more mass shootings this year than there has been days. I think it was for last year. It was for 2018. Mm-hmm. There's been more mass shootings than were for days. It's because they defined mass shootings really funny. they basically defined it as any incident where 4 or more people were shot. So that could be basically anything. And that doesn't mean killed. That means shot. So incidents where
that's right, because the word is
one person died.
It's mass shooting, not mass killing.
Exactly. And a lot of these are like domestic issues and stuff. Somebody got in a fight at a barbecue and shot 4 people. Like that was a mass shooting. It's like, no, he didn't dress up and he didn't go and like try to kill innocent people. That's not we would never call that a mass shooting, but it's what they call a mass shooting because the term is malleable. Everybody has their own definition.
No, you're right.
Unfortunately.
It says in conjunction. I thought I could have sworn I remember seeing a definition where it was like an actual number where it was 6.
I'm sure the FBI has their definition. Yes, I'm sure that's a thing.
But the mainstream media won't
adopt it. No. They have their own definitions. That's why you hear the crazy. You'll hear something like, "There's been 100 mass shootings in Texas this year," and you're like, "Where was I? I live in Texas. Yeah. I saw 2. Yeah. So where'd you get 100?" And you find out it's because their definitions are so fucked. It's basically any situation where multiple people were shot. That's not a mass shooting. Come on, guys. We know what a mass shooting is. Mass shooting is fucking what happened in Vegas. Mass shooting is what happened, at Sandy Hook.
A grand scale.
We know what a mass shooting is. You're trying to tell me 3 people got shot as a mass shooting? Fuck you. Like if it was a crime of passion, that's not a mass shooting. It's not.
The part that saddens me the most is there's not enough coverage on the man who stopped it. It was like this veteran who went back to go protect the kids.
You're talking about El Paso?
Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't stop it. He just he
went
back and helped.
He went back and helped.
He helped.
And there's not enough coverage on that guy.
And there's never enough coverage on the heroes. And you want to know why? It's because they don't want to. They don't want people to know for some reason. I don't know why. Because I was just having this argument.
Are you going
earlier.
into conspiracy theory mode?
I'm not going into conspiracy theory.
Just say it.
I'm being completely honest here.
Just say it.
They don't want people to know that you can actually help stop these things. So they try to make it out like you're completely.
They want
hopeless.
more victims.
They want to be victims.
They want
to be victims.
And you yourself can do something.
Well, one of my friends posted today. He posted, "Where are all the good guys with a gun? Why didn't y'all stop this shit?" And first of all,
he had a gun.
First of all, the Ohio shooting was stopped within 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Because he was shot to death. Granted, it was by a police officer, but still, that's still a good guy with a gun.
Yeah.
It still meets the criteria. It was a good guy with a gun. That's how you stop this shit.
Either you can wait for
good
police
guy with a gun.
or
somebody else needs to be armed.
Yeah.
That's just and so like I mentioned, I was like, it just happened in Texas like 2 years ago with that church shooting. There was a fucking NRA instructor with the AR-15 who fucking stopped the shooter. He shot him in the face, or not in the face, but in like the neck or some shit.
Calm down now.
He shot him and critically injured him.
Headshot.
He shot him and critically injured him and made him run, and then he died like on the way of running. And nobody talks about that. They're like, where was the good guy with the gun? Right there, NRA member, the guy you hate. That's who stopped it. With the gun you hate, the AR-15. He stopped a mass shooting, and you're like, tell me it never happens.
Do you want to know something interesting?
Of course it happens.
Do you want to know something interesting? NRA was one of the first civil rights movement.
NRA is a great organization. I'm honestly,
it's really interesting. It's like honestly, they get so much flack in the media.
They get so much flack, and
I got curious and did some homework on them. I was like, wow, they're actually one of the first civil rights.
Aren't they great? They're great.
How are you guys?
And see, people have this thing where
I don't understand where the stigmatism comes from.
Well, it's because they need somebody to blame, and so they'll blame the NRA because the NRA is one of the biggest organizations that for gun rights.
Right.
But what they're not understanding is it's not the NRA that has the power. They keep saying that. Let's blame the NRA. Oh, the NRA is controlling the gun industry. Oh, the NRA is the one who's stopping these laws from happening. No, what it is it's normal citizens who support the NRA that are making these things happen.
Yeah.
Like the NRA wouldn't exist if it wasn't popular. The fact is, people support the NRA. Why do people support the NRA? Because people support the Second Amendment.
And
it's not like the NRA is controlling shit. Yeah. It's normal people who are giving them the power because they like them. They like the Second Amendment. They like their guns. It's not that the NRA is controlling them. Yeah. They're controlling the NRA.
And there's no doubt. And there's no doubt in my mind that they're probably receiving money from the manufacturers themselves.
Could be.
Yeah, I mean, there's no doubt. But I would say most of their money would have to come from civilians.
From members. Absolutely. Yeah. It's coming from members. Absolutely. 100%.
I don't see that. And then plus the attorneys that provide, the insurance for in case something happens.
Yeah. Which I need to get.
Yeah,
I would love to get that insurance.
Yeah, it was like because I know I'd have to figure out what the cost is because I know it's really cheap. It's
cheap.
It's like $6 a month.
Because it almost never happens. So
right,
it's super cheap.
It's dirt cheap. It's like $6.
Cheap.
I know you can save off like $3 if you go like yearly members. It's like that'll save you a shit ton of money.
Yeah, no, it's the right thing to do because unfortunately, even in a state like Texas, if you do have to use your weapon in a self-defense scenario,
you still have to answer.
There are going to be legal fees.
Yeah.
There are going to be you're going to have to go through a process and basically prove your defense, which is stupid because that's not how American law works. But unfortunately, you're going to have to.
No, because it's okay. So, all right, it's not that they're making an accusation. It's just like they have to go through a legal process in terms of like making sure, because you don't go through a court system.
What are you talking about?
Like when you have to answer to the law, it's not really a court system.
In which sense?
In a sense where there's no jury.
Okay, yeah, you're not to that point yet.
Yeah.
Yes,
there's like
you're
other
not to
stages.
that point yet.
Yeah,
and to avoid that point, you get this insurance.
You get the insurance
right?
to kind of keep you because it saves you money. It's
exactly,
like, and then you're covered because
at that point you'd have to hire a lawyer to basically say, "How dare you accuse my client? He was just using his second member." And then to avoid that. $5,000.
Because some asshat prosecutor is going to come after you because like, oh, fuck you. You're a
so
gun-toting, Bible-thumping. Like, fuck you, dude.
So you need a good lawyer that says, no, this man is protected by the Constitution. Fight me. And the DA is going to be like, he's going to back away. He's going to back away, man. There's nothing you can say to that.
Yeah.
You have to prove that. And that's why everybody got upset about that whole George Zimmerman thing and Trayvon Martin thing. You remember that? The one in Florida?
Yeah, it was so convoluted. It was really difficult.
It was so convoluted, but he wasn't even supposed to be arrested. He wasn't arrested at the time, and he wasn't going to be arrested at the time because it was very straightforward. He defended himself.
Right.
He stood his ground. You can't arrest me.
Right.
It was basically what it was. But because there was such a hissy fit in the world, and there were protests and things like that, they're like, all right, we're going to charge him. But then it's found innocent because guess what? You're allowed to do that. Unfortunately, whether you like it or not, that is a thing you can do. You can kill somebody who attacks you. That's a thing. If you come at me with a spoon, I can still shoot you in the face.
Hey, you know what? Spoons can do some damage.
And people will be like, well, you didn't have to. Doesn't fucking matter.
Doesn't
fucking matter.
You know what's interesting, though? According to the FBI, because I pulled it up, I have it right in front of me. According to this, more deaths are caused by hands and feet.
Yes! I saw that today. I'm serious. I saw that today.
Like I'm looking at it right now.
One of my friends posted that thing, and he was like, "You're trying to tell me gun violence isn't real?" And at the top,
it's not saying that it's real.
At the top, of course, was handguns. So that is true.
Yeah.
But then I looked at the chart, and it goes down, and then hands and feet were right there.
Yeah.
And then way down here was rifles.
Yeah.
And I was like, so you're more concerned about rifles when hands and feet literally cause more deaths. What the fuck?
I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Now, handguns, I will admit, honestly, if we want to talk about the shit that actually kills people and the shit that's actually dangerous, it is handguns. They're concealable. Right. They're lightweight, and you can kill fucking anybody.
In the state of Texas, you have to be in the state of Texas. You have to be at the age of 21 to purchase them.
Yes.
But at the age of 18, you can purchase like a rifle.
Yes.
Right, because you can't conceal it. I mean, I know there was a lot of people on the fence about that. It's like, well, no, because because a rifle doesn't operate any different than a handgun.
Yeah, exactly. A rifle is actually harder to use in that kind of situation.
Right.
Like if you wanted to kill somebody, you would use a handgun.
Right.
It's easier.
Yeah, because if you have a rifle,
they can pocket.
Yeah, because a rifle, they can see you coming.
Oh, absolutely. They can see. I mean, there's not a lot you can do with a rifle. I mean, really, it is for specific uses. If you really want to kill people without facing consequences, literally just pack a fucking pistol. Like it's such a dangerous fucking weapon. It really is. But that's also why it's a good weapon because
a rifle or
the pistol.
Okay.
Because imagine if you're somebody's trying to rob you. It's great because you can have one on you. You can't carry a rifle with you at all times.
I suspect with all this rhetoric with video games, it's just a scapegoat. No different when anybody with a ideology that leans more left would use it's the gun itself that's causing it. Mm-hmm. Obviously I'm gonna play devil's advocate here in just a bit. All right. So this irritates me with the Republican Party. They're very hardened on the pro Second Amendment side, right?
Mm-hmm.
So obviously they're gonna use some form of entertainment, which is generally looked at as a left-leaning tool. Mm-hmm. Right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I see what you're saying.
Do you see where I'm getting at right now?
I see what you're saying.
See, would naturally use that.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then the left would the Democrats would look at just the tool itself. Like if I put a gun right here, it'll magically leap up the goddamn table and shoot somebody.
Right.
Because it wasn't legislated.
Right.
Come on, dude. I would have killed somebody with a hammer. You gonna legislate that too? One's just cleaner. The other one's just messier.
Yep.
A gun's just a preferred tool.
It's just preferred because it's,
Easier.
And if you eliminate that, then it's going to be the next easiest. Which is what happened in Britain, and I don't know why people are so.
Did they ban spoons?
Almost.
I heard they banned spoons.
They're banning knives right now.
So how does a chef? I'm just trying to put in perspective here. Like, so you go to a restaurant, and these chefs are having to cut up. Like, how does that work?
Well, chefs can still have their knives. You are just not allowed to carry a knife. And you can carry a knife if you can prove that it is necessary for your work. So if you are a chef and you were taking your knives to work, you could still carry your knives to work, right? But if you or I were walking in the street...
What if it was a butter knife?
I don't know about that. That's a good question. That's a very good question. But the point is they're having so much problems with murder. Their murder rates were actually exceeded New York's like last year. And New York has guns and they don't, right? So it's like, what the fuck, right?
Over knives.
Now they're doing this whole knife initiative thing with turn in your knives, just like they would do turn in your guns sort of a thing. And their mayor went on Twitter. London's did went on Twitter.
What's the mayor's name again?
I don't fucking remember. Some stupid ass name. Yeah. But he was like there is no reason anyone should ever carry a knife. If you're ever caught carrying a knife, you will be prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. It's like, it's a knife, bro. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? But that's because the banning of guns didn't do dick. That's what it is.
Yeah.
It didn't do dick. They literally have as many homicides as New York without guns.
I'm waiting for when they actually start banning spoons. And then
it's gonna happen.
I'm going to wonder, like, how you're going to eat your cereal.
It's going to happen because now knives are almost officially banned in the entire fucking country. So what's next? So
spoons.
So it might be spoons.
What about chopsticks?
Maybe cars, probably.
Chopsticks.
I would. Cars are more commonly used
as a in a terrorist act.
Because
I've heard a lot of stories, but I'm betting that we should put some money on like what's
gonna be next.
Yeah, what's gonna be next? Like
could be spoons.
No. Like what kitchen?
Probably forks. If we're gonna be honest, forks are sharper.
Right? But after forks, like we got to start putting like this could be a game, a really fun game.
It might be butter knives though.
Butter knives?
Yeah, it might be butter knives. I think you're.
But a fork seems more efficient. I mean, you kind of made
you can take out an eyeball with a fork,
pretty
easy.
Yeah, but here's the thing: like, what about the long 2-prong forks that you use for like carving?
Oh yeah, that's a good one, Chad.
You know, like because that's
a good one.
Because I think they use that like in like commonly like on like Thanksgiving dinners or like because I'm sure like UK's got like their own like holiday festivities.
They have Thanksgiving.
Yes. They do?
Yes. Are you kidding me?
I don't know.
Yes.
I know they have a Christmas.
Yes, they have a Thanksgiving.
So
Jesus, Chau.
I don't know.
Yes, they have a Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving technically stems from harvest time. And
okay,
so most
right.
countries have it. They might have it on different date. But they still have Thanksgiving.
Okay.
But most people in North America, Canada, US, Mexico, they all have around the same time.
You're culturally educating me.
I just Google shit.
Okay, I don't Google everything.
I Google literally everything. So because I was in an argument one time about with somebody about Thanksgiving. They're like, "Didn't you know that Thanksgiving started about ravaging Native Americans?" And so I'm like, okay,
one of those.
So what I do in that situation is I say, what is the origin of Thanksgiving? That's what I Google. And so I read a whole bunch of articles. I read a whole bunch of shit. I find out that Thanksgiving is done in all these different countries. I find out all these different interesting things. I'm like, in Germany they do this, and this they do this. I find out all these things. And you learn that from just one hour session of just looking into Thanksgiving. I do that for everything.
Okay, looks like we'll have to wrap it up right there. I know I got a little... We got not heated, more like we're just passionate.
Passionate. Nothing wrong with being passionate.
You're just like
No, I was earlier. I was thinking about how I need to woosah. I think I'm good now. I feel pretty good.
What was that, dude? All right, guys. My name is Chau, your co-host, checking out. And this is Ian the Half-Breed.
Yes.
And if this is your first time hanging out with us, please hit that subscribe button and the bell icon for more updates. You follow his finger, and we'll see you next time.